All right. So this is practice data set 2. That'll be similar to the one that you're going to do for homework. So this one's set up a little bit differently. And so I'm kind of trying to move you towards how you're going to write for your paper and your thesis. Okay, so this one, you're going to, when you write it up, you're going to write a participant section, a result section, and a discussion section. So it's going to be more in the format of how you're going to write your paper for this class, as well as those parts of your thesis. Now, having said that, for the discussion, um, your discussion for this is not going to be near as full as it will for your thesis or even for your paper in here, because you have the literature review for that. So you can pull in all kind of theoretical stuff. So for in here for the discussion, I do not expect you to go out and get articles and pull that stuff in. What I expect in the discussion for this data set is that you critically think about the results of each analysis, and you don't just say, yeah, they're different, but to kind of critically think about why might they be different. You can kind of pull in what you know. Again, you don't have to cite any articles, but you can kind of pull in stuff that you know. And we were talking earlier about like the IQ study across racial groups, and those researchers initially just said, oh, it's a genetic difference. And so that's what I want you to not do. So you could throw out there, oh, one explanation for these results is that it's a genetic difference across races, but there are other possible explanations for this result. It might be that there's other variables that contribute, or that other variables are confounded, or whatever. You can, anytime you propose alternate explanations for results in the discussion, if you have data to test those, you want to go back and test them. And that's what your exploratory analyses are. So like if you, in the IQ study, if you threw out one possible explanation is that it's really an SES issue, not an IQ issue. If you have SES in the data set, then go back and see if it's an SES issue. Okay. A lot of times you'll throw out alternative explanations and you won't be able to test them because you didn't gather the data on those other variables. And then you just say that. Okay. So you got to write a participants or results in a discussion section, and then I basically listed out what the hypotheses are. Okay. So if you're going to start with the participant section, what do you need to do? Good. So you need descriptive. So I didn't tell you, like in the last data set, I didn't say run descriptive analyses, but because you have to write a participant section, you got to run descriptive analyses. Okay. And I think this is the same basic data set that we had in the last practice, and I've just added some stuff and changed it. Were these the variables we were working with before? Do y'all remember? In the either, I don't know. Okay, so it's kind of like the practice. I've added in an extra treatment group, and I've added a few things. And I also purposefully have not put some stuff in because I want to show you how to calculate different scores. Because in the last one, I just did that for you. Yes. Right. Yeah. Yes. Yes. That'll be it. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so what do we want to do for our descriptives? Okay, analyze descriptives. What do y'all want to do first? Okay. Okay. And what do we want frequencies of? The categorical. Good. We want frequencies of the categorical. So what are those? Okay. Age for this one is continuous, but it looks like we have a limited number of ages, like maybe 8, 9, and 10-year-olds. You could get frequencies for that if you want to. You'll get some the mean standard deviation too. I'm going to put it in there just so we can see what it looks like. And then press OK. Oh, no, we don't want it. Because I forgot I randomly generated, and then I hid the decimal. So Here, let me show y'all what I did so y'all understand. That's a problem with a randomly generated data set. Not with real data. Okay, so look at the age variable. Because I randomly generated, it's got all these decimal places. And I hid them. I could round off, but I was being lazy. So I just hid the decimal places instead of rounding. And that's why every number's coming up with just a 1 by it, because they're really not all 8s. They're like 8.43, 8.15. Let me show you how to round. So if you go to transform, compute, and the variable that we want to compute is age. And then over here, these are where you can do some different things. And if we tell it we want the arithmetic functions and we want to round. So I want to round age. So I want my new age variable to be a rounding of my old age variable. Make sense? So if you just hide the decimal places, you're not rounding. It looks like you've rounded because you don't see the decimals, but you have not rounded. And so all those decimals are going into your calculations. Okay. And so now I should have a rounded age. And so now I can hide the decimal places, and they really are fine now. Okay. So let me rerun that. I'm going to take it out and put it back in just to make sure SPSS is recognizing the change. Okay. So there, that's a little better, huh? All right, so we have gender, ethnicity, and age, frequencies for those. In your participant section, what do you want to report about gender? Say again? Frequency and percent. But always put both. The same thing for all of them. Okay. Then what else do we want to do for our participant section? Okay, we did ethnicity, so it's right here. What else do we need to run? Descriptives. And what do we want descriptives on? We can do age. I did it categorically, but we can do that continuously too. Yeah. Parents' combined income. And that's probably it. You could do number of people. We could use that as a descriptive. Yeah, either way. You may end up using it as something later too. But if it made sense to put it in your participant section, you could. So we have 99 folks in each analysis. We have our minimum and maximum for each, mean and standard deviation. Okay, so you'll write all that up in your participant section and include the numbers. How are we on time, Tim? You have 52 seconds. Oh, good. Well, I'm going to